Welcome back everyone to our YouTube channel. Today we have with us Mr. Amrit Kumar. We congratulate Amrit Bhaiya for his extraordinary performance in IIT JAM and BHU MSc entrance exam. He not only cleared IIT JAM 2020 with All India rank 221 but even managed to bag All India rank 1 in BHU MSc entrance exam for mathematics, and currently he is pursuing masters in mathematics and computing from IIT Hyderabad. Amrit Bhaiya was a student of Ramanujan College, University of Delhi during session 2017 to 2020. He was also former president of Ramanujan, the Mathematics Society of Ramanujan College. And in this video, we will discuss the preparation strategy for IIT JAM and various other entrances for higher studies in mathematics. So let's start with the first question to Amrit Bhaiya. Amrit Bhaiya, first of all, I welcome you to for coming here. So my first question to you is that from where it came to your mind that you have to prepare for examination like IIT JAM, and how it became your ambition to clear this exam.
First of all, thank you, Shivani, for such a kind introduction. I'm happy to be here. And now, to answer your question, I got to know about IIT JAM, I believe, in second year. A few of my seniors were preparing for it, so I got to know about it. I googled the exam, and it turns out that it allowed you to do masters in IITs. So from there, I decided that it's a good exam, it's a good opportunity. So then I decided, now let's focus on it. And then I started my preparation in middle of third year. Then, yeah.
So Bhaiya, I would like you to elaborate a little about that what exactly the syllabus of MSc, this entrance exam for MSc mathematics, like if you are preparing for entrance exam like IIT JAM, then what is the syllabus of this, and how it is different from other examinations like of DU and of BHU.
Yeah, right. So first of all, let me begin by saying that IIT JAM is one of the exams, is one of those exams that can be easily cracked. It's not like really tough. And as far as the syllabus is concerned, it's pretty much the standard syllabus, the one that we study during 3 years at DU. So you have the standard topics, real analysis and linear algebra, and on top of that you have modern algebra, basically group theory, and ordinary differential equations, and then you have vector calculus. And it's different from, say, DU entrance examination for MSc, because first of all, DU has a quota for DU students, and they also ask questions from topics like PD, numerical analysis, and JAM does not ask questions from this topic. So it is different in that aspect. And same is the case with BHU. BHU also asks questions from, I think, partial differential equations as well as mechanics, which is technically a part of physics. So yeah, the syllabus, to again repeat, the syllabus is the real analysis, linear algebra, group theory, ordinary differential equations, and vector calculus.
Okay, thank you so much, Bhaiya, for letting us know about this syllabus portion. Now, since you have started preparing for this examination from second year onwards, so students want to know that when they should start preparation for this exam and from where they should start. Means, what were your resources and what were your suggestions regarding that? How a student should start preparing for this examination?
Okay, so I'll have to correct you, Shani. I started preparing late, and by late I mean pretty late, not in second year, by sort of the middle of third year. So yeah. So I was not sure whether like I should prepare for JAM, so that's why I started late. But I think an ideal time to start preparing for JAM is third year. A lot of people take admission in second year and first year, and I don't think one should do that, because by the end of second year you acquire a flavor of what exactly math is, and then an ideal time to start is the beginning of third year. So I started preparing quite late, but what I did is, so first of all, I joined a coaching institute, and so I stayed there for 2 months, and after that I dropped out. But I made sure that I had all the notes and all the study material of that coaching institute. So my preparation strategy was that I'll go through the notes first, like all the notes and like very intently. And after that, once the notes part was over, I started solving questions, the module questions, and I made it a point to solve each and every question. So that is one of the things that I did. And once the module part was over, I started giving the test series, and at the same time, I started solving previous year questions. So my preparation strategy in that sense was simple: first notes, then module questions, and then I started the test series and the past year questions. And yeah, one
Okay,
more thing.
yes.
Yeah. So I think test series is a very important part of for IIT JAM, and I believe for any examination, because it's only as I started giving exam test series that I realized that what are my flaws, or how can improve, how can I manage my time well. So once the notes and module questions were over, I started giving tests, and from there I devised how will I approach the actual exam. So yeah.
I totally agree that test series are important part of any competition exam. So, Bhaiya, what should be the right time to start test series? Means, should students start from beginning or they should after completion of their syllabus? What is your opinion regarding this? And what you would like to suggest to the upcoming students who are preparing for this examination?
Yeah, right. So again, I think it depends on the person to person. For me, what I did is as I said earlier, that I went through the notes, I completed all the test series, and also the combined test series, the 3 hours long test series. But I think if you have completed, say for example, real analysis, if you have completed all the topics in it, then I think it would be a good idea to give one exam, one test of real analysis. But all in all, I believe it's good to start giving tests once you have completed your syllabus.
Okay, thank you so much, Bhaiya, for informing us that how one should start with the test series. Now, since you started your test series and your modules, so would you like to share your source of preparation, like from which site or from which coaching material you started giving test series and you started preparing your notes?
Yeah. So as I said, I joined PIM. It's a coaching institute in GSRI in third year. But after attending it for 2 months, I realized that it was getting very hectic, so I eventually dropped out. But my friend was going there, so I had all the notes available and also all the material. So I used that. And if you can also join a coaching institute on your own if you want. You can make your own notes, but I followed the PIM notes. And once I completed all that, I purchased the test series of Tips Institute. I think it had 11 or 12 tests in it. Three or four were complete 3 hour tests, and other were subject specific tests. So I prepared that. I gave all those tests, and whenever, so yeah, giving tests is not sufficient. You have to analyze those tests as well. So what I used to do, like once a test is over, I used to see like uh, like which section consumed a lot of my time, and which were the questions that I was able to solve easily. So I used to made a list of that. These were the mistakes that I did, and I actually prepared a separate notebook for it. So even if I committed a silly mistake, like as silly as reading a question incorrectly, I used to jot it down. And the next time I gave a test, I used to go through all my mistakes, and then I actively tried to not commit those mistakes in the next test. So I used to give tests, analyze them, and make a separate notebook for all my mistakes. So that's pretty much the strategy I used for test series.
So means analyzing your test is equally important to, like when you are giving test series, you should analyze. It is an
Yeah,
important part of this preparation. Okay.
right.
So Bhaiya, like you joined coaching but then you dropped out. So is it really necessary to do coaching, or which is more important? Like self study is more important or coaching is equally important? What is your suggestion regarding this? Like, if a student want to join coaching, then whether it should be in online mode or offline mode, and whether he or she should join coaching or not. Means, is there any like necessary kind that one should join coaching?
That's a good question and a difficult one, and I don't have an absolute answer for it. I think it again depends from person to person. For me, actually things were getting very hectic, so that's why I dropped out of coaching. But if you are one of those person who can do self-study on a continuous basis, and then I think that jam, you can crack jam without coaching also. But again, for that, you have to start preparing at least 8 or 9 months before, because studying the books by yourself, preparing the notes, and then solving the questions, it takes time. So for that, you have to prepare at least 8 or 9 months before. And as far as online and offline coaching is concerned, even I am a dabbler in it. Even I am doing my online classes. So I think that offline classes or offline coaching is the best. But be it as it may, I mean, we have to make use of what is available to us. So yeah, to answer your question, if you can do self study continuously, then you can do jam. You can crack jam on your own. But if you are someone who sort of like after studying for 3 4 days, you skip 2 3 days, then I think it's best to join coaching because there's guidance and then there's material. Yeah,
Means it depends from a person to person that what is their study methods and what they prefer to do, right?
exactly.
Okay, so Bhaiya, since you started preparing from your college days, so how do you manage your timetable, like you managed doing your college activities, and without hampering your college studies you managed to give this examination and even managed to get a good rank. So what was your strategy for time management?
Okay, time management. Actually, when I so the exam was on 9th of February, I think 2020. Yeah, 2020. So I actually took a 1 month leave from the college itself to prepare solely for the jam because the exam was near. So I thought it's best to devote 24/7 for the exam. And besides that, I was the president of the college, of the society also. So there were a lot of duties. So my method of time management was that after the lectures were over, I used to go to the library and study there for like 2 3 hours, just revise the material, and also like if I wanted to study something else, I can do that. So that was pretty much my method. And once the exam dates are released, then I used to just devote like 2 3 hours a day. But besides, like on a normal days, I just used to do revision so that you don't have a lot of backlog.
Okay, means revision is also one of the major step which one should take during their preparation. Like they should revise whatever they are studying, right? So, Bhaiya, since you chose for mathematics and computing in IIT Hyderabad, so what is the basic difference between pure mathematics and mathematics and computing? Means why you prefer mathematics and computing?
Yeah. So like. So there's this division in math, right? You have pure math and then you have applied math. So in pure math, you generally study theoretical subjects like algebra, analysis, logic, set theory. While in applied maths, you have subjects like OD, PD, things like that. So I chose mathematics and computing because I wanted. So I studied pure math for almost three, 3 years. So I wanted to explore the applied part. So that's why I chose IIT Hyderabad. So my course is mathematics and computing. So I study pure math, and I also, on top of that, I study computing aspects. Like for example, you study basically computer science courses, and also with a focus on the computational aspects of the things. So, for example, in my college, the course is mostly elective based, but if you go to IIT Guwahati or IIT Dhanbad, they have a very structured curriculum in terms of computing courses. So yeah, so in computing, you study applied papers more and also computer science papers and computational aspects. In contrast to a normal MSc degree where you only study pure mathematics or like 1 2 3 applied papers.
Okay, so where like if someone is not from a non-computer science background, so how he or she should prepare for means how he or she should manage this preparation. Like he want to opt for mathematics and computing. So is there any role of computer science in that?
No, the paper is same. I mean, uh, this, you have to give the IIT JAM mathematics paper only. It's only when you get to the college that you have to take different courses. So, if my suggestion would be if you are looking to do a master's in mathematics and computing, then taking computer science as an elective subject in DU would be better because it builds your base. And then once you are in the masters, then you can actually start working on actual theoretical on computer science aspects. But if you are someone who has not studied computer science at all, or programming, or data structures, then it could be a little difficult. But with some amount of hard work, you can do equally well in mathematics.
Okay, means one should know the basics about computer science and that in order to pursue this particular course, right?
Yeah, I mean, not basics, but it would be a good idea to know the basics. Yeah.
So, Bhaiya, as we know that during any preparation, it is equally important to be disciplined, and most important is to be motivated for any examination. So, how you manage to stay motivated during your preparation?
Again, a good question. So I am one of those person who's not perpetually motivated, and I'm also not very disciplined. I'm not punctual. You can ask Sumit sir. So what I did is, so when I think 30 or 40 days were remaining, I basically decided that I'll focus only on Jam. So I installed all those social media applications. I made sure there is no distraction. And then once you start, preparing in a disciplined manner, the first 2 3 days are difficult, or first week is difficult. But after that, when you get a knack of it, you start, enjoy the process, and you start preparing in a disciplined way. It's difficult to start. It's difficult for the first week or so, but after that, I guess it becomes easy.
Means taking a first step is the most difficult one, and rather than go with the flow. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
thank you so much, Bhaiya, for giving us this very interesting kind of answers that how one should start preparing for IIT JAM examination and other various examination for MSc Mathematics. So, Bhaiya, is there any other kind of tips which you would like to give to the students?
Okay, so as far as JAM is concerned, again, I would repeat some of the things that I said earlier. First of all, make sure that your preparation is problem based. JAM is not going to ask you to write proofs, even if you don't know every, for example, linearly independent set can be extended to a basis. That's all right. You should know how to extend it to a basis. So make sure your preparation is problem based. And the second part, which I also said earlier, that prepare a notebook and list down all the mistakes that you do, regardless of how silly they are. Even if you, as I said, read a question incorrectly, write it down that I read the question incorrectly. So that the next time you give a paper, you make sure that, okay, these are the mistakes that I generally commit, and you'll make an active attempt to not commit them. These are the two, and the third is, I see a lot of students, getting attracted by this lot of books. I think it's very nice to read a lot of books. There's no doubt about that. But I think uh, make sure, decide with your strategy. You know, if I think it's best idea to just prepare your notes, solve a specific amount of questions, and then move to test series and past year problems. If you are, for example, if you're attending a coaching institute, make sure that you cover all their material. There's no point in referring to 3 books of one topic. There's no point in doing that. Choose a preparation method and adhere to it instead of going around and taking a lot of books and all that. So I think these 3 tips are uh, regarding the JAM, and regarding like the normal BSc mathematics. I think apart from reading the papers, just read about math also, because like we generally think that math is a sort of a very rule based subject, but it's not that. So apart from this, studying your real analysis or differential equation, just spend some time reading about math, what's going on in the mathematical world. Then you'll know that it's a very lively subject.
Means
So
one should
yeah,
get connected to mathematics, that what is basically the new formulas and new theorems are coming into mathematics, right?
exactly.
So Bhaiya, like you started your preparation and during the third year only, means between third and second year. So
Hmm.
how one should begin their, means if someone want to prepare, so what tips you would like to give to them?
Again, like take the first step. make sure that okay, this is the thing that I want to do. Take some time, because even I was confused at what I wanted to do, whether I want to go for degree or masters. So I took my time. I took 2 3 months to figure out. But after that, once I decided that it is a masters in math that I want to do, I took the first step and I started preparing. So take the first step and have a self belief. As I said earlier in the beginning, that it's a very easy exam in the sense that you can crack it. It is not like UPSC exam where you have to work hard a lot. It's a crackable examination. So you will crack it if you, even if you give a moderate amount of effort. So take the first step, have belief in yourself, and you'll crack it. You'll crack the exam most likely with a good rank.
So, Bhaiya, average, how many hours you spent for this examination? Means, did you give dedicatedly 2 to 3 hours or more than that to this examination, or you studied according to your means targets which you have set? So, what you have done during your preparation?
Yeah, again, this depends from person to person. If someone is, for example, a slow reader, then of course they have to spend more time preparing. What I did is once I started preparing for the jam, I used to, for that like a period of 1 month, 1.5 month, I used to study for almost 5 to 6 hours, uh, almost on a daily basis. I used to take a cheat day, but mostly it was 5 to 6 hours, because I started, as I said, I started preparing it, so I had a lot to cover. So I used to study 5 to 6 hours a day uh, in the final months. But again, if you have started preparing from say 8 or 9 months back, then even if I believe even if you study 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, then I think it's sufficient. Probably you have to put in more hours on weekends, but yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Bhaiya, for answering all the questions which students usually struggle with, and they used to search on internet. Thank you so much for such an interaction session, and I wish you success ahead in your college life in IIT Hyderabad. So thank you so much for this session.
Thank you, Shivan. It was a pleasure to be here.